Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about the video that I saw this man made saying that why is it that people judge only white people for owning slaves, and he went further to say that when every culture had slaves, these are the problem. Like each time they try to, I think this is like, part of them trying to gaslight, because I don't see how a full grown man come out to ask a question like this. Most of them know how slavery, and that there is difference between chattel slavery and Atlantic, transatlantic slavery and all that. And some of them are not never ready to talk about it, or like face the reality about slaves and all that, knowing fully well that slavery benefited them very well, and some of them are finding this really hard to speak on. But it is the reality. It's only a truthful person that will tell you how beneficial slavery was to them. That's why all of a sudden they also wanted to be in the set, like they came up with this slogan that says that slavery benefited slaves, right? And they started asking how, and they started like running around without having any question, sorry, without having any answer, and the rest of it. It is really sad that some people all the time wake up to gaslight themselves instead of facing the reality. But number one is that some people are not also ready to talk about the truth and the reality. Let's get into this.
I'm just going to ask this one more time. Why do we only judge white people for owning slaves when every culture had them?
Hi, my little white sarcastic friend. How are you? Great question about why are white people judged for slavery when so many other cultures and civilizations did it. You're right. Back in ancient times, before 500 years ago, there were other slave trades. However, the last 500 years, it was white people perpetrating the Atlantic slave trade and the enslavement of Africans to the tune of 11 million Africans enslaved and brought to the Americas and all over the world. So when you say why, that's why. It's because the last 500 years, we were the dominant people doing it. We started it, Europeans, people that look like me and you. Yeah, I know it's a simple answer and an obvious answer. And I know that you're a white apologist and you're in denial, and that you care much more about protecting white people than you do your brothers and sisters of color, brown and black folks, right? You'd much rather be a white apologist and have just an ounce of humanity and just an ounce of dignity and morality. So I tell you this for several reasons. It's obvious why. Because of the enslavement, because of the Atlantic slave trade, we created our people, white supremacy, which benefits us today. That's right. It's hard to face. It's uncomfortable, but it's the fucking truth. Just look at the racial data all over every single American institution, and every single American system continues to be discrimination benefiting white people and hurting and oppressing brown and black folks. Reality, it'll do you good. But you're not interested in reality, are you? You're interested in protecting whiteness and protecting the status quo, white supremacy. And that's exactly what you're doing. Maybe one day you'll find an ounce of humanity and just a little bit of morality. One more thing to add to it. White people created something new 500 years ago called chattel slavery. You ever heard of that? Look it up. Chattel slavery was that enslavement for the first time in history where human beings were treated as commodities, property. They could never, ever have freedom. And furthermore, they were dehumanized. And because of white supremacy, they were treated as animals, even less than animals. Free to rape, free to abuse, free to murder. That's called chattel slavery, unregulated slavery, where people lose their humanity. That is why white people are blamed and judged for slavery. And because we continue to benefit from it. When? Today. Check your facts. Racial discrimination in every single American institution, every single system in America. White supremacy continues to reign. Reality. truth doesn't mind being questioned, but a lie can't stand to be challenged. This is what happens when you talk to white people about race. And I laugh because it's sad, but it's also funny because it's incredible. And I recently experienced it myself. I had witnessed a transformation of an adult into a batshit crazy Karen. It happened right in front of my eyes when we got on the topic of race. So I'm on vacation. I'm staying at a family member's house. We're all watching the Olympics. I'm sick, by the way, but I'm on the couch trying to relax. These Trump-supporting family members are teary-eyed as they're singing the national anthem during the Olympics. You know, patriotic, nationalist, and I'm getting a little uncomfortable, but it's okay. And then at the end, when they said liberty and justice for all, I said for white people, not for all white people, and that's all I said. And of course, that triggered the female, and she started lecturing me and going on and on and on, deflecting, denying, distorting, talking over me, just being a bully, being hateful. And then she said something that they usually say, some kind of crazy shit to justify white supremacy, because that's what white people do, right? She said, we're talking about racial equality and racial justice for black folks. She said, well, I don't think that they should get racial justice because they can never get enough. They'll always want too much. They'll always want more and more and more. And I said, oh, really? Well, that's interesting. So before we had this racial conversation, I had already called my friend who's black, and I asked him permission if I could call him if I needed him to let her know, or let this family people know, that a black person knows about their racism. Do you mind if I call you if I need to? He said, I'm all in. Call me. I don't care. Yeah, let's do it. So, when she said that racist shit, I called my black friend. And I put him on speakerphone, and I said, so, she just said that black people could never, ever, ever get enough racial equality, therefore they don't deserve it, because they always want too much. That woman, who I've known for many years, transformed into a Karen. She was triggered. It was, I swear to God, like a werewolf coming out. A grown woman literally had a complete insane breakdown. She started screaming uncontrollably, cussing me, this supposed Christian woman, in front of her children, and everybody in my family is saying the F word. Get the fuck out of my house! Screaming and jumping in a complete temper tantrum. So, so anyhow, she grabs my shit in this fit of rage as she cries victim. He's calling me a racist. I'm not going to be humiliated in front of black people. I'm not a racist. She grabs all my shit and just throws it in the fucking yard, scaring everybody in the house. I even thought she was going to assault me at one point. She didn't, thank God, because I'd have her arrested, but she did manage to kick me out of the house, throw all my shit out in the grass. So, I got a hotel. I lost another family member. But you know what? I'll just add it to the fucking list of family members, friends, and coworkers that I've lost. And would I do it again? Hell fucking yes. Because at least she knows it made her question her morality racially, and it made her question the lies that she's living. And it forced her to fucking think about something that she didn't want to fucking think about. And the reason she got triggered, because for the first time in her life, she could not hide her racism from black people. That's why she got triggered. She had to face her own goddamn immorality and the own lies that she's living. It may not change her. I don't know if it will or not. But it'll let her know that racism is unacceptable. And that's what we have to do, folks. Hold white people accountable for their fucking racism. Now, you might want to time it right so you don't get kicked out of somebody's house or get assaulted, but hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? But anyhow, hold each other accountable, folks. That's what we have to do. Take care.
So this is all I got from the stitches from the video, and I absolutely love what he said. Like, accountability. There is nothing like that, and hold people accountable for their racism and all of that. And I am going to ask this: why is it that some find it very hard to actually, like, talk or have a discussion on racism without being mean or without deflecting or without being a jerk, because I have really tried having a conversation on race and all that, racism and all that, and it actually did not go well. And I don't know why their feelings are kind of so hard. And okay, I don't know why their feelings are really very hard. Each time somebody tries to talk about racism and the rest and slavery, it's always, I mean, like, going back and forth. And several times that I have tried it and it did not go, like all the time. It doesn't go well. It ends up probably not talking to, I mean, we end up probably not talking or probably having problems and all that. But I have actually let them in their own, I mean, like pace or in their own knowledge, because I don't want to say ignorance, because some of them actually know what they are doing. Some of them are just deflecting from having the conversation because I feel like some of them are not mentally smart, or maybe mentally not ready to say the truth about what happened and all that, and how, what I mean, chattel slavery has put some people or into a corner and all that. That is one of the reasons. Like each time you try talking to them about it, they tell you that Black people have victim mentality and all that. And so, how do you? I mean, it's just like having experiencing something, right? And you are talking on your experience or trying to share your experience with people, and they are telling you that you have victim mentality. I think that is one of the worst things that will ever happen to any human being. I get so, but then let's come back to the man saying that why is it that every other person had slave about when it comes to white people, like people are so, I mean, it's just really that I think his name is McCanty and empty or something his name is or whatever, you know. It's really amazing how he does, like, some content, right? I have really seen him taking a swipe and trying to say some unnecessary jokes or trying to say some certain things, right? When they are not funny. Just like he was the one that actually came out to say that he was going to give a homeless person a counterfeit money so that the person will use the money and get arrested and be sent to jail. Why he is helping to clean the community? That was really a very wrong thing to say or do or try to do, you know. But why I'm saying is each time I hear him say that, it means that some people have decided that they do not want to take responsibility, and nobody is judging you people. The problem is that you all have refused to acknowledge what happened during slavery, and you all also have refused to pay reparations to the people affected. Because each time, I mean, Black people or other Black people most especially talk about race and reparations. I mean, to fix what they have, that there is need for them to repair what they have and all the things they have done. And when Black people talk about reparation, it's not just about slavery, redlining, Jim Crow, and the rest of it. So not just for only slavery, like all the things that they have been through and all that. I mean, it's kind of hard for them to talk about it, and they are always ready to say that every culture had slave. Why is it that I mean, like people always want to hold white people and all that. I mean, I don't know if he was trying to be sarcastic and all that, but that is really not a great thing to talk about. And also, some of them have refused to acknowledge that there is chattel slavery and transatlantic slavery are not the same, right? But they have also refused to accept it. That's why all of a sudden slaves benefited from slavery and all that. I mean, we really can do better, you know. And if we really do not have something good to talk about, especially when you're trying to make some controversial content, you better can, like, sit back and not talk about some certain things, and it will really do you well than coming out here to roast yourself. That is all I have to say. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.